piece of advice you'd give to a girly who wants to start her own podcast or project. A lot of people might start because they want the validation, they want the likes, they want the comments. Like, if that's your end game, then end the game. Like, just don't. It's going to get harder, especially when it actually becomes work. Wow, guys, when we don't have anything scripted.
I usually am a chatterbox, so now I think I'm trying to waiting for the caffeine to hit.
Mella's like fresh in from New York 2 or 3 days ago.
What?
From New York to LA.
Wait, am I?
Yeah. Is it? I mean, we've already talked about that.
Wait, I'm from Vietnam.
Oh, you can't.
Wait, sorry. I was like,
I totally forgot that you didn't go back to New York. I forgot.
No.
You went straight from LA.
Sorry. I
was like, why are you so confused?
And I just said, I'm from Vietnam. Which is like, that's not true either.
Starting off real strong, guys. Starting off
Sorry.
real strong.
Just for reference, this episode will be coming out during what, holiday season?
Yeah, if you're watching, like I'm dressed in summer clothes still, so.
I'm like deep into fall.
I've been wearing the same outfit for the past month because I've been living out of a suitcase. But yes, I just came back from Vietnam. I'm extremely jet lagged, and so my brain is operating at 50%.
She's also not from Vietnam.
I'm not. I'm from America. Motherland's Taiwan, though, if those who didn't know. But yeah, that was a quick update for what I've been up to. So I'm in LA now. So I've been like, just for reference, I've been hopping around for the last month. I was in SF for almost 2 weeks. I was SF for a week, Vietnam for 2 weeks. I'm in LA for almost 2 weeks. Then I have a stop in Mexico for a wedding, and then I'm finally back in New York. So I've been kind of like,
how do you pack for that?
Yeah.
I'm severely cold here.
Wait, you have your like wedding stuff as well?
Yeah.
That you had to take with you to Vietnam?
Well, luckily before Vietnam, I actually went to a family wedding with Ray's family, and so Haley and Vicky were driving back down to LA. So I was like, "Oh, please take some. Here's a bag of clothes I need for the wedding."
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
But now I'm also like running out of things, and Vietnam was like really hot, and then coming back to LA, I didn't realize how cold it'd be.
Yeah.
Well, we have stuff that you can borrow.
Yeah, which I'm like, I might need to borrow a hoodie. I'm gonna wear this. You're gonna see this outfit a lot from me.
It's cute.
It's cute. I like it.
You're like water.
I am.
It's very calming.
I will say, ever since we did the rebrand, I've been wearing a lot more blue.
Oh, I'm in my orange-ish.
Oh, dang. I'm not in my green.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I feel like I really
we're really bright today.
Yeah.
We look like
crayons.
Teletubbies.
or like Mrs. Wiggles or Mr. Wiggles kind of equivalent.
Hey, kids, new podcast today.
Yeah. We're gonna learn about colors.
Anyway, Jay, how have you been?
How have
Oh,
I
nice
been?
shoes. I just noticed.
We haven't seen each other in a while.
We're in the ballet flats. I don't know if everyone can see this. These are really cute.
I am 100% into ballet flats.
My sister just had a baby, so I have been deep in like newborn land. And when I'm not with her, I've been like FaceTiming her. So that's been really exciting. A new addition to the family. He looks exactly like her, which is so trippy. Like her baby photo, we would do like a side by side, and it was insane. We're like, Sean, where are you? Like,
But did you guys figure out
his name?
Yeah.
Maverick.
No.
Maverick. And then my dad gave him his middle name, which is, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it correctly, but it's Zilong.
Long, like Lad Dragon.
Long as dragon, but the form means son, because he's first generation and then the first boy, because our family is like me and my sister, our generation is all girls, yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Wow.
That sounds like a strong name.
Zilong. Wait, I feel like I know a Zilong.
Maybe. It does now that I like imagine it. I feel like I've seen it elsewhere.
I think I knew someone named Zilong in high school. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, that's
so
exciting.
cute. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
New auntie status.
Yeah. How about you, Helen? How has everything been going?
Sorry, the first thing that came to my mind was I have a mole removed.
You actually got to remove?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I was in the group text. You asked, you're like, anyone want to see a pic? And I was like, I did.
So much has happened, but I guess that happened yesterday, so I guess I'll share it.
Yeah.
I went to a dermatologist, which I had never gone to one, ever.
Oh,
Neither
really?
have I.
Never.
Me
To just
neither.
do like a full body check.
Which
Right.
is good to do.
And so I had a mole that was a raised mole that grew during my pregnancy.
I see.
And so the doctor said because it grew and it has changed over time, it might be better to just get rid of it instead of doing like a biopsy and then figuring out and then removing it. Because it's like, it's not that big. So, but it was like on my boob. So So I like stripped down and like showed it to him, like, oh, that's so awkward. And he touched it, and he was like, all right, let's remove it. And then yesterday, I got like anesthesia, and then he
They
just
give
went,
you anesthesia?
whoop. Yeah, like a little needle just to numb it.
And then
he
but there's a
basically,
needle
like,
involved. I didn't know that would have to happen.
It wasn't that pain. I feel like I'm so used to needles now, but it wasn't that painful. It's just like a stinging sensation.
Yeah.
And then he just like scraped it off.
Scraped it?
Wait, there was no like
Their laser?
Usually they like.
It was a laser.
Okay.
But he said scrape. And so, I mean, I didn't feel it because it was numb, but he basically just whoop it off, and then this little like brown thing just like fell out.
Did you keep it?
I did not. So they are sending it in for a biopsy.
Oh, I see.
Just to
in
double
case.
check.
Okay.
But I took many pictures of it as it was just floating around in its little tube. And I sent it to Philip, and I'm like, look, my mole, my boob mole.
Oh my gosh, I'm hoping everything.
Why is that the one thing that I share as my update? I don't know. It's a big thing. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah, part of my body's floating out there somewhere.
What an interesting morning. Good luck with the results, though. Why am I nervous for you?
What do you mean
Don't
the
be
results?
nervous.
Oh, the
She's
results
anxious.
of the I mean, because it shrank back after the pregnancy. The
Oh,
doctor
okay,
was
okay.
like, "Oh, it should be fine."
Okay.
Yeah.
But because it did change, he was like, "But at the same time, my body expanded so much that maybe that's why it also grew with my
I
body."
see.
Yeah.
And so he said it should be normal, but yeah, he's just double checking.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so today's episode, we're actually doing a Q&A episode because it's actually been a very long time since we did one of these.
Yeah.
And, we love hearing from our listeners, and you guys ask such great questions. So we compiled a bunch of questions that we had submitted through Instagram, and we're going to kick it off.
The holidays are all about surprises, right? Well, today's sponsor, OneSkin, is really taking that to heart. As the first company to target skin aging at the cellular level, OneSkin wants to give you the gift of healthy aging free. Throughout the month of December, you'll get a free travel-sized product valued at up to $42 with every purchase. The best part, you'll get a different gift each week. I have been loving their tinted sunscreen. Even though it's winter, it's still important for us to layer up on our sunscreen. And with OneSkin, I know I am getting a good formulation with their proprietary OS01 peptide. This is a peptide the four founders, who are all skin longevity scientists, developed after testing 900 other ingredients. Founded and led by an all-women team of skin longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS01 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self. Get 15% off with code ABG at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code ABG. Whether you're on the hunt for the perfect gift or treating yourself, now is the perfect time to try OneSkin. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. This holiday season, invest in your skin's long-term health because healthy aging is a gift.
The first question, it is, how do you conquer Asian flush?
I guess that question is for me.
Yeah,
Since I think I'm the only one here that gets Asian flush, right?
I don't really get flushed.
I don't get flushed.
Whoa. Okay, yes. So, one way to do it is to not drink. Duh. But if you do want to drink, I think a lot of people already know. Pepsid, max strength. I pop 2 to 3 pills 15 to 20 minutes before I start drinking, and it works wonders. I know that sounds like a lot, 2 to 3 pills, but I talked to my brother-in-law who's a pharmacist, and he says that the dosage within each pill is actually not that high. So he says it's okay, but obviously take that with a grain of salt. Don't be like chugging down Pepsid. But yeah, that works for me. So that's how I combat it. Or you just embrace it.
That's true. I like that too. Embrace it.
I would say yes to that, but it does make me feel extra like
Oh, so if you feel a
inebriated.
sensation.
That's true.
because my face gets red so quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also depends, like, to be honest, like my stepdad, he's like tomato red. And I'm like, I don't know if
I
he
think
should
it's really
embrace
bad.
that.
Yeah.
Because then we're a little more concerned when he's like, I feel fine. But
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah.
causes
That's also
He's
the
having a
concern
physical
if
reaction.
you're taking the Pepsid to mask.
That's true.
You know,
It's-
your
yeah,
body
yeah.
actually reacting in that way.
That's true.
So, yeah, just be careful, but, try not to drink much.
Yeah. Don't listen to me.
Don't listen to me
Yeah, don't
either.
listen to me. The next question is, your thoughts on Ozempic?
It's been all over the news.
All right, so to be quite honest with Ozempic, yes, we have seen it everywhere. Like a lot of speculation on certain celebrities taking it, but they're like, oh, how do they lose so much weight? To be quite frank, I haven't done that much research on like the benefits or like what Ozempic really is for. I know it's for diabetes, but people have been taking it because they've noticed that it also results in weight loss. Personally, for me, I feel like, to each their own. Like, if you feel like you need it to help you with whatever fitness goal, maybe you do you. But for me, it just kind of scares me because I don't really know this, like, the prolonged side effects or the effects of it. So I personally wouldn't take it. Mm-hmm. I also think because, like, obviously as someone that, like, is, been on this fitness journey, I kind of want to, like, do it the natural way. Like, I want to, like, be able to eat, like, my whole foods and work out and, like, get to the body that I want by doing that. Because sometimes I feel Ozempic, I'm just like, I feel like I'm cheating. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to cheat because I want to do it, like, but I don't cheat in school too. So I just like to do things the right way.
Good girl.
The right way or the by the book way. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm like, personally, I wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have thoughts on Ozempic too. First, I think it's like a truly groundbreaking, like, new finding.
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is it that weight management has been something that's been, like, such a big industry, and, like, this is not this year, but, like, more recently it's been discovered.
Yeah.
And now people are actually using it. My exposure to it is that my grandma was actually prescribed it for her diabetes to regulate her blood sugar levels, which sounds so weird because given the social context of, like, how Ozempic is being spoken of, it's like, oh, my grandma's on Ozempic.
Yeah.
But she has always, taken the advice from her doctors and taken whatever they've prescribed to her. But within, like, the WeChatter sphere, a lot of people talk about Ozempic and how it works and also all the botch stories about it. So she actually knows a friend of a friend who was fairly thin and she started taking Ozempic. I don't know if it was prescribed to her for any reason or if she was, like, abusing it, but she grew this big lump in her throat. And I guess one of the side effects of Ozempic is that you can have thyroid tumors. So that happened to her and that wrecked her body.
Yeah.
And because of that, my grandma's like, oh, I'm not taking this drug. Like, why would I want to do that to my body?
Yeah.
And I said, no, if it's, doctor prescribed and he's watching you, I'm sure that's not going to happen. You actually need it for your diabetes. You should take it. But because of, like, the social dialogue about Ozempic, it's sort of given it this, like, negative connotation of, like, oh, it's not good for your body, but it works fast. So it's just so interesting that like my exposure to Ozempic is like, oh, my grandma should be on it, but she's not because people are sort of, like, abusing the drug.
Yeah, that's kind of not fair.
Yeah.
All right, the next question is Janet seeing anyone? Hoping for the best.
I appreciate the interest or maybe concern. I think my love life has been a little all over the place these past couple of years. At the moment, I am not seeing anyone. By the time this episode comes out, I don't know. Will that be different? Who knows? I've stopped trying to predict my love life. So, yes. Thanks for that question, though.
It's the holidays, which means you might be finding yourself in transit quite often, on planes, trains, or in cars, visiting friends and family, getting to those holiday parties, what have you. It is the perfect time to listen to some audiobooks or podcasts, like this one. If you're looking for some help on what to choose, check out Audible's Best of 2024. They have the year's top audiobooks, podcasts, and originals in all your favorite genres, from memoirs and sci-fi to mysteries and thrillers, from romance and well-being to fiction. Audible's carefully curated list in every category is the best way to hear 2024's best of the year in audio entertainment. I am personally excited to check out Drop Dead, a thrilling romance Audible original narrated by Philippa Sue and John Cho. Or if you're in the mood for a heartfelt memoir, you can check out Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's Lovely One. Or listen to the year's best fiction like The Women by Kristen Hanna and Percival Everett's brilliantly subversive James. Audible, there's more to imagine when you listen. Go to audible.com/ABG and discover all the year's best waiting just for you.
Okay, the next one is, do you ever compare your significant other to other people's SOs?
Ooh, juicy.
Great question. There's definitely instances where I have compared, and sometimes I think it's like, I don't want to say beneficial, but it's like a little bit more positive for your relationship and sometimes more negative. And like a positive example, let's say you see your friend and their partner doing something and you don't really like what the partner is doing to the friend or whatever. It makes you appreciate your partner because you're comparing their actions. You're like, oh, my partner doesn't do this. Thank God. Or like whatever. I think the negative part of it is sometimes you'll see your girlfriend with their partner and you're like, oh, I wish my partner did this. I think, and then bringing that up to your partner can cause some tension. And I've definitely had conversations about this before with Ray. And he was like, why are you comparing us to them? We're not them, you know? And I think It's a conversation to be had, but I think my takeaway from this is that in the end, I don't think you should really compare because it's actually more harm than good. So even though I gave that first example, I don't think it's actually really a good thing to do.
Yeah, we should say don't compare, but I think it's inevitable, right?
Yeah.
It's like hard not to sometimes.
Yeah.
And especially if there's something that you're like, "Oh, I like that aspect of this couple's
Yes.
relationship." I don't think it's harmful to bring it up. It's more just like why you figure out the core reason of why you care about that so much. And if it matters that much, then
Yeah.
maybe you guys can work towards becoming whatever that,
Mhm.
that thing is that you like. And it can be like an aspirational goal or something for the
Mhm.
two of you. So I think it's hard to say that you just don't compare though,
I
because in the
know.
back of your mind, you kind of
Do.
will
It's
or
natural
do.
to
That's
compare
true, that's true.
everything, right?
Yeah.
As humans, it's kind of how you like
Yeah.
understand things. Maybe it's more like how you deliver it. Like if
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
saying
that's
it's
true, that's
something
true.
that's like, this is something that I really like. And by the way, this is a couple that I saw that kind of shows that. And then versus like, why can't we be like them?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Maybe it's the wording of it, the compare.
Yeah.
I think sometimes compare, that word has a very negative
Yeah, yeah,
connotation. The next question I would like to know also, how do you know when you're ready to marry your partner?
Mm.
I'm going to ask
Are we all answering this question?
The only married one
I'm going to
here.
ask the married person of the trio.
How do I know? It's funny because when I think back, I feel like it was always like a gut reaction or a gut knowing that he was gonna be the one, even when we were in our early stages of just dating.
Oh.
Which
Oh, so you knew from the beginning
I
almost.
feel like I did. But at the same time, I did have this feeling with like other guys too. So maybe that's not the best like indication. But I did have that feeling with Philip for sure in the beginning. And I think that's the reason why we like kept coming back to each other. But if I were to answer this in a more tangible way, I would say that we share very similar core values and life goals. Like when it comes to family and joint finances and career and religion and spirituality, I feel like we're really aligned there. And those are like the big buckets to make sure that either you're aligned or at least you're compromised to the point where you're settled in the feeling of being compromised in those like if there is any tension there, like you get to a place where you're both good.
Yeah.
Because those buckets I think are important to long-term compatibility.
Yeah.
Like if any of those are a little bit off, it can
Yeah.
get uncomfortable. I also think he was someone who, when we first started dating, he had said to me like, oh, I want to make sure that things are like 50-50. And that was like more of a, I do want to be with someone in the long term that will split things with me, not in a true 50-50 way, but in a way where it's like, oh, I don't expect you to be like a housewife. I don't expect you to be like doing all the housework. I want to be involved. I want to be as busy as I get. I want to be present and involved. And that was really important for me too, for like a marriage, a true marriage.
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
And that might be selfish for me to ask, but in terms of timing though, because you guys been together for a while, but you're like, this is the right time to take it to marriage.
Yeah, that to me, because we were on and off for so many years, and then we were on and living together for multiple years. I think after a while, you just kept kind of like, all right.
It's like it almost already feels
Yeah.
like you're already married. Like you've already committed to each other and all that way.
It's experiencing some level of like a married couple and thinking to yourself, oh, this is the person that I want to wake up to next to for like the rest of my life. I think it really that core feeling of like when we weren't together and I woke up and he wasn't next to me, I always wanted him there. And then when that did happen, every night I'm like, oh, this is what I want forever. So maybe that's like a good indication of like longer term commitment. I don't know. I mean, to each their own, right? This answer's gonna be so different for every single person out there. But I would say that those were some of the main reasons why marriage made sense for us.
Got it.
Yeah. Amongst many others, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi ABGs, it's Janet here, and I have a question for you. Are you a renter? If so, did you know that you can earn points on your rent payments? Hello, free money! If you're a renter, I would start taking advantage of Built if I were you. Here's the thing. We earn points on groceries, travel, and practically everything else that we buy. But we should also be earning points on rent, one of our biggest monthly expenses, right? Built changed the game by letting renters earn high-value points on rent and around their neighborhood. There is no cost to join Built, and as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and on your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world that you can redeem your Built points towards. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/ABG. That's JOINBILT.com/ABG. Make sure to use our URL so they know that we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/ABG to start earning points with your rent payments today.
Okay, so I got the next question. It says, how do you deal with changing female friendships in your mid-20s?
I feel like friendships in all stages of your life change, but perhaps the 20s can be a particularly challenging time because it's like when you first really become a true adult and you are outside of systems like college or high school or like places where there's like a natural community to build friends, right? Once you start working, it does kind of feel like you go into the real world and you have to be really proactive with your friendships. But I would say when you're going through that and your friendships are changing, the biggest thing is to just accept that friendships are going to look different. They are going, like, every friendship is very individual, right? And be open-minded in terms of like how that friendship may evolve, how the terms of that friendship might not look like your other friendships. So I think just remaining open-minded and flexible.
I agree with that. My answer was like, stress about it. I think Janet, you just worded it perfectly. I feel like each friendship is truly individual at the end of the day. Like, it's your dynamic. I think there's like multiple things can happen, but there's two patterns I've noticed. Is like, one is like you and that your one friend kind of just naturally evolve into the new type of dynamic that's going to happen, whether it's like talking less but still being there for each other. It kind of just happens. Another thing that happens is you talk about it with that friend. Like, hey, I noticed like we're not talking as much anymore. Or, like, I noticed like I have gotten this talk before after college, when I came back to visit, I got a talk from a friend saying like, I feel like you don't prioritize our friendship anymore. You prioritize your other friends. And I had to like apologize and then reflect and realize that like, oh, I actually don't prioritize this friendship. And that was the reality of it. Me and that friend we're fine, but I don't talk to her as much anymore. But I think sometimes those friendships naturally will have that result. So I think it's okay to talk to some of these friends if you feel uncomfortable or they feel uncomfortable, because I think it's like a reality check sometimes for some of the friendships. Is like, you know, that saying that like, you know who your real friends are in the end? That kind of plays into this factor of like, as things evolve and change, how do you maintain the friendships that are actually meaningful to you? And I think having that conversation kind of does, you know, help that. I think for me, even moving to New York this year, all three of us talked about like, we really love this friendship. We want to make this work still. And obviously things are going to change. But I think having the conversation between the three of us and saying that we still want this, we still care about this, placed a lot more importance on our friendship. And like, it made me go, yeah, I'm going to still put in the effort. And so I think having that conversation with the friends as you're going through life changes also can be beneficial.
Yeah. And also just know that friendships, it's so natural for it to just evolve over time. Like, that's just a natural thing. And I think once you accept that, then you feel less sadness or guilt that it happens when it happens. It will happen, right? It's inevitable. But just know that that's a normal part of the process. And sometimes if a friend is leaving you, that void that is going to get filled by another friend, maybe that person's actually more aligned with your state or where you are in life right now. So just be gentle with yourself as it's happening. It's a natural process. And who knows, they might come back into your life in the future. Next question. Piece of advice you'd give to a girly who wants to start her own podcast or project. Come into the studio.
Mine might be a little bit more harsh.
Ooh.
And more straight up.
Straight up.
We do get this question a lot. First thing is to create a plan. Like, create a plan for yourself for the podcast, whether it's recording times, like a schedule. I think scheduling for us helped us so much. Like, release on Thursday. So what is your cadence? Like, create your plan and your timeline. I think a timeline is also important because as you're starting something new, you got to evaluate if you want to continue to do this. The second thing, the hard question you actually have to ask yourself is like, why are you doing this? Like, why do you want to start a podcast? Is it because you are looking for a creative outlet and you feel like podcast is the best fit? Or you feel like you you want to monetize. Like, I think all of this why question will help you set your plan in place and also just set expectations for yourself. Because the world of podcasts, people get into it for various reasons, and you can't expect all podcasters to have the same goal. And the last thing, after you asked yourself the why and you wrote a plan and timeline, is commit to your plan. You did a plan for a reason. I think committing to it also holds you accountable for pursuing a project like this. So those are my 3 things I would give you.
Mine's a little opposite. I'd say before planning, just start. Try it. Try it first, because you might find that in that trial phase you don't like it, and then there's no point in moving forward, right? But I think for a lot of people, the hardest part of anything is getting started. It's an idea, it's a desire, but whether it actually goes into reality, you have to first just start doing it. Like, maybe don't even purchase a mic, just sit down and have a conversation with someone and pretend it's a podcast. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Do you want to continue doing it? I mean, one word advice, start.
I was going to say a mix of the two. Start for sure, and also know why you're doing it. I feel like nowadays social media is so saturated. Podcasting space and creative fields are so saturated that a lot of people might start because they want the validation, they want the likes, they want the comments. Like, if that's your end game, then end the game. Like, and especially if it feels like work right now, you know, when you first start, because you're going for the likes and the comments and it's like an analytical game or something like that, it's going to get harder, especially when it actually becomes work. But if it actually is coming from your passions and you're authentically wanting to use a platform to share your thoughts and to connect with people and whatnot, then that's going to shine through, and it's going to be much longer lasting than if you're chasing numbers. So definitely don't start if you're just doing it for validation purposes only. Wow, that's so negative.
No, I think it's very honest, and it's true.
I 100% agree.
The landscape of when we started podcasting is so different now. It is super saturated. If you don't know why you're doing it, if you don't try it, and if you don't have a plan, like, it's hard to...
Actually, yeah, if we were to start today, would we be able to survive? Ooh,
there's so many variables. Yeah, I don't know.
I think we're able to... I don't think we'd be able to have the longevity that we do now if we started today.
But we probably would still have gotten started and maybe had like a season or 2 or something.
Yeah.
I think we would have been much harder on ourselves to make it like
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, because
we're saying we're not right now.
because the competition is so much harder. Because when we started, what made it easier was that there wasn't really anyone to compare to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think your point is like, yeah, like it feels like the market is so, like the standards have gotten so high that it is really hard for a novice to come in if you hold yourself to that standard from the very beginning.
I mean, it feels that way, but at the same time, don't let it hold you back from actually trying, right? Again, start, see if it does pick up traction, see if you like it, and if you do, keep at it. You know, keep at it.
There are some things in life that are okay to be a total crapshoot, like trying a new type of milk in your coffee, or rolling the dice on a new workout class, or mixing it up with a new takeout spot. But finding the right doctor should not be a total crapshoot. And with ZocDoc, it is not because you've got more options than you know. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We are talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and much more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, and are highly rated by verified patients. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. If I had needed this product, it is what I would use. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/ABG to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/ABG. ZocDoc.com/ABG.
Okay, next question. Beauty favorites: makeup, skincare, hair care, etc.
Okay, so I'll break it down for hair. I do take care of my hair. So my hair favorites that I always use, it's like a necessity, is one, I do love leave-in conditioner. My hair is colored. I've been loving Ouai's leave-in conditioner because it smells incredible. So Ouai's leave-in conditioner. And then if you're also like a hair color girly and your scalp gets really dry, I would recommend Living Proof's scalp treatment. It's like this, like a bottle you just put on your hair after you wash it. And it's definitely fixed my dry scalp. I used to have a lot of like flakiness. So Living Proof's dry scalp treatment really works. Sunblock. Everyone uses sunblock. I use Beauty of Joseon. That's like a really popular brand in Korea. I feel like it was popular like 2 years ago, but I still use it. For makeup, I got this from Janet. For my eyeliner, I use NYX's eyeliner. Is it the velvet? You don't use it anymore?
I don't.
NYX.
Yeah. Is that how you say it?
I did. Yeah. I went through. Yes, NYX used to be. I'm trying a couple of other brands, but
She's
that's
not
a good
vegan girl.
I mean, I don't know if it's
I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe
It
NYX
is
also
vegan. That was actually what
Yeah.
I first saw.
So NYX's eyeliner, the liquid one, because I've been wearing that for like years now, and it's easy to put on. And the one of my holy grail lipsticks I've been wearing for almost like 10 years now is Max Velvet Teddy. It's the perfect color for your lips to make it look like you're alive. What? Like, this is so random, but like, I think I'm someone that when I wake up in the morning, my lips are even like they're faded color, or they like, look like I'm dehydrated. So when I wear this lipstick, it's just like the nice, like, oh, like little like alive.
Like you don't look like a corpse.
It's the one item that I would wear out if I had to rush out. Like I would choose that over my lashes.
And it matches your
that's
nipple color.
I think we had a conversation about this at work.
For all the ABG listeners out there who have been with us for
Yeah.
I'll
many,
show it
many
to you,
episodes.
and you can let me know.
Which one, the lip or the nipple?
The lipstick. Actually, yeah, but yeah, those are my favorites. How about you two?
My staples that are always on my I was gonna say kitchen, my bathroom counter,
Yeah.
are SK2 Essence. I use that.
For
I know it's
years.
expensive,
You've been using that always, yeah.
but girl, I stock up when it's like Black Friday sales. Whenever it's on sale, I have like an alert on it. I get
Does it
that
really
one.
work?
I don't know. Look at my face. Does it work?
It's gotten. I mean, I remember you told me about your skincare when you first came to LA. It looks good.
Thank you. I feel like it works. I don't know. But yeah, something's been working lately. I don't know. I've been feeling good. It's been a good like few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so knock on wood. But yeah, SK2 Essence, Sun and Park toner.
Oh.
I've been getting a lot into Innisfree, INNIS free. That first came to me as like a PR package, and I was like, oh, let me just try it out. And now I buy their stuff all the time. I love their serum, their hyaluronic serum.
Hyaluronic.
Yeah. Mel correcting me.
That's because I use those products too.
Hyaluronic.
Yeah.
Hyaluronic, yes. That the serum. Yes, that one's good. And then I also use their like lotion. For hair, I use Olaplex and I don't know, nails, Essie. What else? There's so many things. There's
Your
so
holy
many.
grail item is Helen always has your white nail polish. Is it from Essie? That's like a thing I always see on your toes.
On my toes.
That is true.
Yes. Don't zoom in. Yes. Yeah, Essie. DM me if you have any more questions.
Wait, what brow do you use?
Brow?
Your brows are.
I got my brows microbladed, so I barely have to like
okay.
touch them up now, which I am so in love with.
Time saver.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is such a time saver. I highly recommend it to anyone out there who just wants to save a little bit of time doing their brows in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Kelly. Kelly Brows, Pasadena.
I am kind of brand agnostic. I change things a lot and I don't really have a constant per se. I think especially with like hair, I kind of use like whatever shampoo is of the moment. I think what is the Way one?
Yeah.
That one smells really good.
Way's
So I
good,
have been using that one. For skincare, I did start using CosRx, the snail serum, which I had to get over the hump of the mental hump of like I'm putting snail slime on my face. Because that was but it does work really well and it's very moisturizing, and especially as we go into like winter season, my skin always gets really dry.
Yeah.
So I put like 3 pumps of that on in the morning and then also at night. It's just like always the base before I put on moisturizer. For sunscreen, I'm always using sunscreen, but I also am very brand agnostic. Like I try a bunch of different ones. The Trader Joe's version that's kind
So
of like
good.
a knockoff of Goop
so good.
is really good, and it's a constant, and it's also like it doesn't like get like that powderiness. It's very clear and light.
I have to ask you your products because I feel like I've seen you use things and people comment asking you. So I'm gonna ask you what's the thing you put in your hair so your flyaways don't.
Oh, I have like a hair stick that I just got off of Amazon.
Okay.
Same,
that
we have
one.
the hair wax one or something.
Yeah, the hair wax. So I use that one, but there's also like a hair pomade that I will switch off with.
I feel like that one works better.
Yeah,
The pomade.
yeah.
With like a little like toothbrush hair comb.
To get in there with all the little
Yeah,
like
that
flyaways.
works
Yeah,
well.
because I do have a lot of flyaways in that. Yeah, that is a good one.
And your last one for you, because these are the comments I see on Janet's post, and I'm like, I'd be curious. Your brows. Do you use a brow pencil or a certain gel?
I think it's called Refine. I don't know. I used to use just like regular hand lotion on my brows. I have really thick brows. And so in the last like maybe the last half of the year, I started using like a brow, like it's almost like a wax type thing. But yeah, so that I forgot what brand it is.
Lotion.
Like, yeah.
Whoa.
Honestly, I'm actually the fact that Janet has products she's using now. It's really impressive because
This is true. I used to not be a
there's
product person.
one time we were together and then Janet came and we were like, oh, Janet, your hair looks a little like oilier today, and you're like, I put body oil in my hair. I was like, girl, I think you should be using hair oil.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
we're
I
like,
thought-
oh, so I'm happy that you're trying different products.
Yes, yeah, I appreciate that. I feel like ABG has made me step up my like style game with like hair care,
Yeah.
face care, and then also with like clothes.
Dude, okay, sorry, I don't want to put Janet on blast. I
No,
love you.
please do.
But I was looking at old photos when we first started, and I was like, dude, Janet's fashion game has like changed dramatically.
I was very, and I still kind of am like on the inside, and most like now like 50% of the time, I live in like jeans and a t-shirt. I used to only own like 2 or 3 pairs of pants, you know, the same color and everything. Yeah, if you look back in old ABG stuff, I was like, I don't really like care about that kind of thing, but part of our job is like that, you know, and a lot of the influence of these 2 ladies is really nice to be like, hey, I can't show up if they're looking like polished. I
Do
can't
you
be like,
enjoy it though?
Yes,
Like, don't do
yeah,
it because,
yeah.
you know, yeah.
yeah, no, it actually is really important. It's something that my mom used to like hark on me a lot when I was like growing up too. Like, you know, why you should like put more time into like getting ready and things like that. And I was like, oh, that doesn't really matter. But it does. It does affect like the way that you feel. It affects the way that people react to you and things like that. The last product that I will call out though, that is probably, if I had my one thing that you're like, you can only have one item that you use before heading out of the house, it would be Thrive Cosmetics tubing mascara. So if there's one thing that I always like mascara, and that one's a really good one for Asian eyes because my lashes tend to kind of like fall down, and also it's a nice thick. I like that it doesn't like smear too much because I do hot yoga and like the tubing kind of just comes off instead of like smearing all over your face.
I use that because of Janet too.
Tubing mascara.
I didn't know it's called tubing. I just know it's Thrive mascara. Okay, our next question comes directed at Helen, because Helen's hair is always on fleek in these videos.
I like how she says in these videos and not in real life, like not all the time.
Honestly, your hair in real life all the time is great. Like you never look greasy. Well, also you wear a hat,
Girl,
So.
yes, when it's greasy, it's under my hat.
So what's your hair care routine?
Oh man, okay. Thank you. I appreciate this question because I don't feel like, even though I'm almost like 40, I'm like, I don't feel good about how I always do my hair.
I love your
hair's
hair.
always
What are you
great.
talking
It
about?
always changes.
But it always
always
looks
changes.
good.
In terms of like styling, it's never where I want it to be. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's no like one look that I'm like, oh yeah, this is my look. You
Oh,
know,
I see what
This is
you
your
mean.
look.
This is my
This
look,
is
but,
half up,
but
half
I
down.
feel like there's something still to it that could be, but I don't know. Anyway, appreciate the comment. I don't know what I do. I sometimes I put like volumizing mousse in it. I think it's like it begins with a K. It's like a long silver bottle. That was recommended from like a hairstylist, so I use that sometimes. And then I always blow dry my hair just because my hair is prone to breakage. So it's always better to dry your hair instead of just like sleeping on it because it will break more easily that way. Learned that also from my hairstylist, and also my Asian mom has been telling me that since like I was born, to dry your hair. Then when I style it, basically just heat protectant, and then I section it off into 3 sections. I just use my fingers. I go whoop, and I just and tie it up here like a little bun on top of my head. For those of you who aren't watching and just listening to the audio, and then I split 2 sections on both sides, and I just curl away from my face. And that's it. I don't do like the intertwined like in and out curling.
Yeah.
Do you ladies do that?
I heard that from a hairstylist that's
To
a
do
good
that.
method, but
Yeah.
I'm lazy.
I just curl. You
Yeah,
just curl
same.
out. Curl out.
I don't curl,
Oh.
but I like
That's true.
Yeah.
I know. I
I've
don't.
ever seen you.
I don't know how
hair?
to use a curling iron. Honestly,
Oh my
like,
gosh, this
at
question is for Janet.
Now she's gonna curl her hair.
Yeah, it's simple, but I don't know if I
like
do
that
it
you have a
right.
3-step though. It's just
Yeah.
two or 3 sections.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
top,
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
Do the sides first. Let this down. Split in the middle, and then curl away.
Wait, random question. How many times do you wash your hair a week? Do you switch off every
Like
question.
3 every
Every
second or
day.
third day. Yeah,
That's about
I
right.
wash it when it starts getting like itchy.
Mine's when it's smelly. But it's, every
Like you smell it like this.
like when you do this, and then you smell your fingers.
Oh, it's the
smell your
scalp test.
fingers
The scalp.
it's a scalp. It's a scalp test.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I'm
yeah.
like, don't smell me. And
Okay.
then wash
I don't
it.
think my hair smells. It just gets like itchy and flaky and like really greasy.
that sounds like it would smell.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this next question is from Mel.
Meow meow.
Mel, are you still considering moving to Taiwan, or has New York satisfied that itch?
That's a very good,
Good
question.
question. I'm also wondering about that.
I don't know if like I'm like super itchy anymore,
Just your hair.
but I like there's like a tickle still. I think
There's a
It's, like,
tickle. Okay.
girl, I don't know. To go to Taiwan. I think the more I think about it, what I'm actually craving is probably just intentional time with my grandpa. That's what I want more and more of. I think, especially with my move to New York, I've been missing a lot. Like, I'm recognizing what I'm missing the most.
Yeah.
And I'm missing my family a lot. And so I think a lot about my grandpa and like how he's kind of by himself. We've been talking a lot. So next year, my grandpa's we're moving him out of our current apartment that we lived in for almost like 15, 20 years. And we're moving him into a new apartment. And I've been talking to my mom about joining her to help her move him out. And maybe doing a long-term stay with him. So I think that might satisfy my tickle. I'm also coming off a Asia trip, and I just
she's
feel,
been
and so I'm
everywhere.
also feeling a little homesick, and like I want to be back in my home. So I don't know if I could want to live in Taiwan for a year. That sounds like a long time, but maybe like a month or two with my grandpa will satisfy that itch. Yeah, I've been thinking about how to like to interact with him if I'm there. Random tangent, but like when we were back in Taiwan last time, I had a moment when I was talking to my brother, because my brother actually spent 2 weeks with my grandpa before our whole family came in. I was asking him how was it, and he told me he was like, it's actually quite lonely. And when I heard that, it like really broke me. And so I was like, okay, well, my brother had time with him. Like, what can I do given this period of my life to like spend time with him, because like I had the flexibility to do so. So I'm exploring that idea for next year. Maybe early, maybe Q1. We'll see.
Yeah, you should totally do it.
Yeah.
Do it sooner than later.
Yeah, I think that's I'm feeling this rush to like I need to get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for that question.
Good question.
Our next question: if you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
I've had my answer for like forever now. Hasn't changed. I think if I had a superhero power, it would be the ability to transport anywhere, to teleport, essentially.
Teleportation.
Because flying everywhere, like just so many hours on a plane, I'm tired of. I get motion sickness now. If I transport, I'll be there instantly, wherever.
That's a good superpower.
I think that was my original answer too. But then I was like, if you keep doing that, it's fun. But then you're gonna be alone.
You're just like going everywhere.
Can you
but
like grab a friend?
while you're like transporting, while you're in the like
grab
third
one
dimension
friend.
or whatever.
Oh, you can grab just one friend.
We can be like,
Who are you gonna grab?
I'll go one at a time. You know?
Okay. Is that the sound also in your mind?
That's how I picture my transport.
If I had a superpower, and I really thought about this because I was like, okay, teleport. But then I think lately, and it's gonna get like, but I feel like it's what weighs on me more and more these days is when you're met with someone who either is a friend or a family member, an elder, or even people you see on the news that's like just really in a bad place or not feeling good, or they have like emotional turmoil or physical pain. Like I want to be able to relieve them of that pain. Like the power of like healing, I guess. Yeah. Because these days I feel like I hear all these stories from just like things happening around us that people can't help, and it's just happening. And it's like, I hate that feeling that I can't do anything about it instantaneously. I want to help, but you kind of just have to wait and support and do other things to like mitigate how they feel. But if I could just be like, I got you, you know, that would be what I would love to have the superpower of.
That's a great answer.
I really like that. Yeah, I resonate with that a lot. There were periods in my life where I felt like the ability to alleviate suffering would be so powerful. The ability to heal is your superpower.
Yeah.
Mine originally, my kind of like go-to answer has always been I'd love to fly, just because I think the experience would be really cool. But thinking more specifically about this time period, I think similar to Helen, but maybe a slightly variation would be I would love the ability to just like truly feel at peace in my mind and calm all the time. I think that would be, because I can't, there's like so much shit happening in the world right now. It's like chaos, right? The only thing that I could do is be able to control like my perspective. And then part two of that is if I could do that for other people, then I think like if I could help everyone just be calm in your mind and have peace of mind, then I feel like that would mitigate, like there would be a domino effect of things kind of like calming down.
Sorry. Over here is the great serious answer. I like to transport.
It's okay. We all wanted to too. We just added a sub bullet point to that.
Great answers, ladies.
Okay, the next question and last one for today. What is the future of ABG? Ooh.
This is such a great question. We actually have some very big news that we're going to be sharing in a couple of episodes that are upcoming. But something we do know that is happening in the new year is we are going to be doing a in-person tour. Details are still to be locked down, but likely to be in LA, New York. We are going to be going on tour though. So that will be happening maybe January, February in 2025. But yes, outside of that, we do have some big news coming up in a couple of episodes, or maybe next episode, whenever this falls in the lineup soon.
Thanks for the questions, everyone. That was fun.
Yeah.
It's been
I feel
a
like
while
we started
since we did that.
Yeah, we started off really chaotic and then ended kind of
chaotic.
chaotic.
Still chaotic.
But yeah, keep sending us your questions and we will maybe answer them on a future episode. And with that, we will catch you all on the next episode.
Bye.
Today's Supercast ABG bestie that we are shouting out is Lanvi Nguyen. Yay!
Thanks, Lambie.
Thank you so much for your support, Lanvi. We so appreciate you, and we hope to see you in a future Dear ABG session.
Thanks, Lambie.